in frames. How you like this?
That's funny.
So, depending on how many people we have, you know, we might have to change the, let me see what this one looks like.
Jason, you could keep it like that. We could be like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Hey.
I don't see my ugly mug up on the wall yet.
It's up there. Oh, I got to switch because we got too many people for frames. I don't have enough. Hold on. You're going to get, here you go.
All right, that's a new one I haven't seen before. All right.
So I'll go back to a gallery view for right now. Let's see how this just looks.
Are we still expecting a few more people?
Yeah, Joseph, the man of the hour, said he's dialing in with the recent hoopla.
Glad to see you got your goggles on.
My goggles.
Safety goggles.
These things are. I got
Oh, they're
my
stylish. They're totally stylish.
So actually, you sound so much better now, Steve, than you normally do. You sound 30 years younger on these stacks.
There you go. It's the stem cell treatment. Finally working.
Is that your new Stax headphones, Jason?
Yeah, so everybody sounds so great, you know.
Nice.
Actually, Steve's mic was really good when he got it on. I was like, man, oh, Joseph is coming in now.
Yeah, well, it's a Neumann U87, so should be good. But first, I got to ask Doug if he got his power work done. Got all your AC changes done?
So not yet, but I really appreciate you taking my call yesterday. It's all set up. They just haven't come in to finish up the work, but it's totally doable, what I was trying to do.
Okay. So it isn't complete yet.
It is not complete. He was just there for another job, and I sort of had him look at the isolation issue and what I could do, and we came up with the plan. So it may not get done until after Expono, which may actually be better because then I can kind of think about it and look at some other options. But in a simplistic form is what we talked about, putting the monoblocks on the same circuit and getting the other junk off the other one.
Yeah, so this might be a good chance to start off the conversation with something applicable to you guys, as well as Steve and Rex just joined. And before he ends up covering his screen and starts doing the Macarena, we might as well get him. He's got ADD. So basically, Rex, I don't know if you knew about this, but Doug just had an electrician, and I think I texted you that he may be interested in your sub panel box, the one that's on the way to me. Similarly, but he had an electrician come out and found out some, you know, things that were related to Doug's amps and the circuits and separating them. And obviously, Steve was able to help real time with, you know, what demands the amps have and whatnot. But basically, Doug, where you stand with that right now?
I mean, I didn't really have a major problem. I was just sort of interested in seeing what my wiring situation was. I have a 3-story house. It's not a particularly old house, but we didn't build it, so I just don't know where all these wires go. And I was intrigued by the fact that one of the downstairs televisions was on the same circuit as one of my monoblock amplifiers. And then the source components were all in a different circuit that also went to dimmer switches. So not an ideal situation. Unfortunately, doing a dedicated run without drilling holes in the house, I have a stucco home, and running pipes up the side of the house is not real practical. But it looks pretty easy to get the dimmers off of it, get the television off of it, get the monoblocks on its own circuit, and then essentially I would just have the monoblocks on one circuit and the source components and everything on another. And I talked to Steve possibly about maybe a power conditioner or something just to kind of back up the source components and everything else other than the monoblocks.
Yeah, so that's cool.
You know, we'll be curious to hear your take on this when it gets done. I mean, if you do notice any changes that are hopefully positive, beneficial. And then I was saying in the long run, once this is all settled down, that he might be interested in checking into some form of AC power conditioner, possibly for the front end gear, et cetera. But I was kind of saying, you know, keep that as a separate topic until everything else gets settled down.
And so, Rex, for people that aren't familiar, you will work with local electricians in respective people's areas because you're not licensed everywhere. Yeah, so maybe just refresh people's memory on terms of how you work with electricians. Like you're going to work with Tony here in Houston on mine, and you've sent me the sub panel. I'm excited to get that in. It'll probably be after Expona, obviously, but you work hand in hand with a local electrician sometimes to do a lot, give you the eyes and ears, and some of the work on site.
Yeah, that's how Steve has been helping Doug is at least the first right track you have to go down. You have to have your local guy go and look at it, figure what it is. I have people then take a lot of pictures, photographs, like open up your panels, expose what the infrastructure is, and then I go through that whole infrastructure process and talk about a little more comprehensive way to put the grounding together inside the panels, all the way from your service out to your branches. It matters. There's corrosion protection that goes in there also that kind of matters. It's not huge degrees, but it all matters and adds up. Isolating your circuits like Doug was doing is really nice if you can. I mean, I don't understand how we got lights and stuff like that off. If it's existing and out in the field and it just went from here over to there and over to there, it's like, what do you do about it? It's like it's outside running new branches. But I do that. I draw pictures. So what I do is I'll take all these photographs that people have given me and I use a PDF marker and I put a lot of arrows to different things. And I can send a sample of something to you, Jason, that you could share, but it lays out in a simplistic way for an electrician in the field to go, okay, I just got to take this wire off from here in the panel and move it up to here. I got to do this and that. I do my corrosion protections on here. I mean, that's just in the service panel. But if somebody was really to get into their branch circuits, then I will go through, okay, what are your different options? What are the materials you can use? You can use steel or you're going to use non-metallic. How are you routing? I'm a big advocate too of isolating from the street. So I've really kind of come to this conclusion that looking at some of the best systems and listening to systems and taking pieces out that a large isolation transformer to feed a whole stereo is really a significant thing to do. That along with branch circuits, feeding out to a room, like a bunch of dedicated branch circuits, not one. Although backing up, if you did put an isolation transformer, your best option is to, I like putting it right outside the room because the larger ones, a lot of the times have holding contactors that can buzz a little bit in the room. You can kind of mitigate it. But I mean, you want an isolation transformer really close and then you feed out from there. That's the big thing for me. And then a lot of separate distribution pieces that you can put in. And then from there, it's like looking at the branch wire is a lesser piece, but it's also important. So yeah, I go through all that. And then I provide the panel boards, I provide transformers, I provide branch wiring that's grain oriented and twisted, which I learned from Garth Powell. So I work with the person to develop a whole plan. And then I have some all copper pieces that I like industrial grade panel boards and stuff like that, that I configure specifically for audio. I do some damping on them. I kind of tear the entire thing apart when I get it. And once again, that kind of corrosion protection all through it and put it back together. I land the arc fault breakers and stuff like that so that it's wired right. And then I'll even leave flags in different spots in it saying to the electrician, land here, put your wires here, land these panels like this.
So yeah, now you don't even have to go to Expona because you just told everybody everything they're going to hear.
That's what I'm going to do at Expona for like 3 or 4 days. Like,
And I'm going to showcase what you did over at Steve's house. Both Joseph and I have been over there. He's up and running now. So we'll have more on that. And maybe we'll do one video in the future on isolation transformers to talk about that. But basically, while we're talking about this Expona, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
And also Dave, Doug, who else is going to be there? Jerry, you're going to be there? Joseph, you can't make it, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to be available.
Okay. So this is to let everybody know that both Doug and Dave are going to be kind of quasi audiophile junkie press. They've got the press pass. They're going to be going into the rooms because I'm going to spend a lot of time with Edgar in the room with the Bach